Hi, today I want to share a leadership tip that I've had to deal with a lot this week, and I think it's important for me to share this with the leaders out in the world that need to know some things or know what to do to be successful and not cause themselves undue grief within their own organizations, teams, divisions, companies for that matter, particularly entrepreneurs who I totally resonate with. But the issue is twofold. One is what do you focus on when you're solving or dealing with issues? Are you politically correct, meaning that you follow the political agendas of other people, or are you focusing on your performance? Now, here's the key. In all the years of coaching executives and managers and different fast tracking clients, I've shared with them the importance of staying focused on their performance. Be politically aware of what's going on inside your organization, but stop there. Stop at awareness so that you're not blindsided, but at the same time, do not play the political game. As soon as you get sucked up into the political game, you will lose. So at some point, the power structure will change and you'll be on the wrong side. And I've had at least three people that I know in the last 5 years had been playing the political game and got on the wrong side of the equation, or the power group changed, and suddenly they were out. They were deselected for the leadership team because of mistakes in judgment. Now, performance will always give you value, and remember, I'm always into value add is a life goal. Adding value is how you basically earn your stripes. You're not just given stuff. So the idea is to focus on performance. Now, relative to performance and making the correct decisions brings us to the second critical element that you've got to be thinking about all the time. And that's one is when you're hearing information from people regarding some decision that needs to be made, stop and analyze the situation. Please do not immediately agree with someone just because you like them or not. I have seen, again, recently in the last year, or since the beginning of the year, I've seen one business owner, leader, who kind of overdid the friendship with one particular executive that he trusts, yet within the organization, nobody else liked the guy, trusted the guy, and they knew that his performance was totally off. In other words, he was making sure that the boss was happy, but the boss was the only one in the organization that was happy, and the results were not really good. But the boss continued to tolerate this lower performance level because he was only hearing the good side of the stories, or the gentleman was taking credit for things that were not necessarily due to his activities. So you always track and find out who's actually doing what. Now, I can share a situation from my past when I was working with a company that was in deep trouble. This is during my turnaround time when I was helping companies put themselves back together. And I recall the president of the company telling me that all the problems were due to the vice president of sales, and that I should, think about cutting him out or eliminating his job or not trusting him, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I heard all this stuff, and it was like this guy's agenda. So I checked the guy out, the executive out, and I observed, I shadowed, I had long discussions both in the office and over meals, so that I could really get a sense for what made this person tick. And it turned out that the VP of sales was not the bad guy. The actual bad guy was the president who was telling me things that, were just not true. He was the cause of the problem because of lack of focus, lack of a vision. There's any number of lack ofs that were attributed to the president, who eventually had to be removed by the owner of the company so that the company would be successful in the long term. But these are the situations that you run into, and I assure you that the thing that you have to do today is to check the facts. The best leaders that I have worked with through the years have always been fair, and they didn't jump to immediate conclusions. They asked more questions. They did a little research on their own. They discovered the truth about the situation, and not somebody else's agenda. And that's what I'm talking about. And particularly in this day and age where agendas seem to be the ruling focus on who did what, to why, to whom, to why, etc. It's all about achieving their agendas rather than sharing the objective truths so that an excellent decision can be made and choice. So I just want to point this out to you as we move into the weekend. I know it's late on a Friday afternoon. I'm getting ready to support my Tigers to defend their #1 ranking in baseball. Yay, go Tigers. But I just wanted to share this tip because it is so critical to the success of the organization, and specifically specific leaders within the organization need to absolutely know that they're making good decisions. They can only do that if they're making the decisions based off the facts and not someone else's agenda. When you make decisions off of someone else's decisions, you are now playing the political game, which is a loser's game in the long run. And I've witnessed this many times. I'm sure there's many of you out there that have witnessed this too. I would love a comment if you would put a comment in the below this video just to share your story. I'd like to hear it. I mean, you don't have to identify yourself or necessarily. I mean, it will you know, or identify the specific people. You don't need to talk about that, but you could talk about the situation and how it impacted you. And I would appreciate those comments. If you like this tip, if you found it useful, also you could comment on it. Again, below, you could dialogue about it below, and I would certainly appreciate it. If you have any questions or items that you would like to have answered in future leadership tips, I will be more than happy to look into it and see if I can answer your questions. So with that, this is Voss Graham, organizational architect and CEO of Interactive Consulting Group in Memphis, Tennessee. I look forward to hearing from you. If you want to talk to me direct, you could go to this link, and if somebody would type this in, I hadn't had a chance to type it in, but callvoss.com, pretty easy. Just callvoss.com. You can get in, and that will get you to my automated calendar. We'll schedule a brief conversation. And again, there's no selling or anything of that nature. It is strictly a conversation with you and me. All right, so take care. Have a great weekend, and make yourself the greatest leader ever. Take care.